So, Riot, the creators of games such as League of Legends, Valorant, and Legends of Runeterra, they are making a collectible trading card game. Now, throughout my life, I've played League, I've played Valorant, I've played Legends of Runeterra. The one I played the longest was League of Legends, and honestly, I played since beta when it came out when I was in high school. That was definitely a time where, it was so different that ADCs like Ashe were played mid lane, for those of you that, don't know. So naturally, a trading card game set in the world of a game that I played for years was definitely interesting sounding. So that's what we are going to be discussing in this video. So go ahead, grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's talk about Riftbound. Or at least what we know so far. So Riftbound is a collectible trading card game that features characters, champions, creatures, all from the world of League of Legends and as well as the world of Runeterra. So the game is headed by Riot, who have partnered with UVS Games to help them with distribution. The game was originally set to only be released in China, but Riot decided to release it globally, so yay for that. So, just doing a general overview of the gameplay. In this trading card game, players will take control of one of many of the different legends to build up their army and strategize ways to conquer battlefields in order to earn points and win the game. There will be a large variety of ways for players to enjoy and experience a game of Riftbound. From the standard 1v1 to competing with up to 3 other players in a free-for-all, or even 2 versus 2. Riot did mention the idea of a 5 versus 5 game where you would have 3 simultaneous games going on at the same time. I guess 2 versus 2 games representing the side lanes, and then a jungle or maybe even a mid 1 versus 1 game. Now in terms of how the deck is built, your deck will consist of 2 colors dictated by your choice of legend, 1 champion that will represent your legend, and 39 cards that will round out your 40 card deck. You can only have up to 3 copies of the same card in a deck. Your legend is not shuffled into the deck, and neither is your chosen champion. Your legend will never be played to the field, but you can play your champion as long as you have the required resources. Basically, your champion on the board will sit right by your legend, and again is the representation of your legend or the card that you can play to the field. You will also have a separate resource deck, also known as runes, consisting of 12 runes of the same colors as your legend. You can have any number combination of runes in your 12 card rune deck. What this means is if you wanted to run 11 blue cards or 11 blue runes and 1 green rune, you are more than welcome to do that. It doesn't have to be 6 of one color and 6 of the other. Lastly, you will have a 3-card battlefield deck consisting of 3 different battlefields of your choice. Players will be able to channel 2 runes every turn. Players will use these runes to summon units to their base, and players will move those summon units to and from their base to the battlefields in order to conquer them for the points that are needed in order to win the game. If a player is moving their units to a battlefield already occupied by another opposing player, this is when showdowns between the units will begin. Showdowns are ultimately decided by the total might of the units, and might can be found at the top right of the card. That number represents both the attack and defense of that specific card. Be aware that the amount of might can be influenced by cards like spells that can be played during the showdown. Spells do require runes in order to play them, so you may want to think carefully about how you spend your runes if you know a showdown is coming. Something you have to think about, a little bit more strategy involved there. Speaking of spending runes, just know that there are cards that'll cost more than just the exhaustion or tapping of your runes. Many cards, especially the more powerful ones, will have an energy cost shown at the top left of the card and a power cost right below. The power cost is the amount of runes you have to recycle or place at the bottom of your rune deck. This means that throughout the course of the match, your resources won't just ramp up to your 12 cards or 12 runes, but they will fluctuate throughout, making planning of future turns a lot more important. Points are gained when you conquer a battlefield or manage to hold the battlefield until your next turn. The first to 8 points wins. It is first to 11 points in a game of 2 versus 2. Just as a heads up, in this video, I won't be doing a full how to play guide, but I will be creating a separate guide on how to play in another video. And at the time of recording, Riot did just release a play guide on their website, as well as one that you can download. They also released an official core rules guide to help answer or clarify any specific details about the rules. I'll go ahead and try to link as much of this information as I can in the description below. So, let's go ahead and talk about what we know so far. I'm not going to go into too great of a detail about all the information that has been released, but let's go ahead and just talk about what I think most people would want to know. The first set that is going to be released is going to be called Origins, and as of right now, it is set to be released in August in China, and it will be released globally for everyone else in October. Origins will have 12 legends for players to build their decks from, each with their own archetype. The 12 legends that are set to be released for Origins are going to be Ahri, Darius, Jinx, Kai'Sa, Lee Sin, Leona, Misfortune, Set, Teemo, Victor, Volibear, and Yasuo. I am very curious if Teemo is going to be as trolly as he is in the game. So, I mean, hopefully they do that. That'd be kind of funny. We'll see what happens there. Now, just as a heads up, these are the champions that are going to be featured as legends, but there will be other champions like Vi, Heimerdinger, and Caitlyn that will be in the game, but they will be in the game as champions for now, and will probably be featured as legends later on in probably future sets. Now, the 3 legends that'll have their own starter decks are going to be Victor, Jinx, and Lee Sin. Now, these starter decks are going to be on market MSRP for $19.99. So these champion decks are going to be pre-constructed decks, or these starter decks will be pre-constructed decks, and they are meant to be upgradable with clear upgrade paths to what you may be looking for the decks there. So these starter decks will come with a tuck box, paper playmat, a learn to play booklet, and 1 booster pack. So for those of you who are maybe newer players that have never experienced that, at least you'll get to experience that with the starter decks here. Now, aside from the starter decks, booster boxes, and booster packs, Riot is also releasing a product called the Proving Grounds. So it is going to be like a board game. So this is basically a product meant to get newer players, or even meant to get players who do know how to play the game, to get their friends and families to try it. So the 4 legends in the Proving Grounds are going to be Master Yi, Annie, Garen, and Lux. Now, from my understanding, and I don't know if this is true, these are meant to be simplified decks, which means they probably won't be able to stack up against the regular starter decks or any constructed deck. It sounds like they truly are just meant to be simple, learn how to play decks. Now, the Proving Grounds product is going to MSRP for $29.99. It's going to include 4 full art playmats, a learn to play guide, multiple oversized battlefields, reversible champion chibi style acrylics, so it is going to be a little bit more like a board game, and it's all going to come in a hard case board game box. For the price, I think this is definitely a great product, especially if you're not sure if you want to learn how to play the game or not, or if you want a relatively less expensive way to get your friends or family into the game. This is a good product for you. Now, talking about what's going to come in a booster pack and the way they are doing the rarities. So Riftbound is going to feature common, uncommon, rare, epic, alt art, and overnumber cards. Overnumber cards are basically their version of, it sounds like, secret rares that you would find in other trading card games. So the rare, epic, alt art, and overnumber cards are always going to be foil. Apparently the rarest cards are going to feature multiple layers of a foil treatment. And just as a heads up, there are rare, epic, and alt art versions of the same card. Now, each booster pack is going to contain 14 cards. You're gonna have 7 bronze commons, 3 silver uncommons, 1 foil of any rarity, 2 rare or better cards, and a token or a rune. All battlefield cards are considered uncommon. Any champion legend cards are considered rare. Now, in terms of the rough distribution, the alt art cards will appear at a rate of about 2 per box. The overnumber cards will only appear once in about every 10 or so boxes. Now, to go along with the overnumber cards, they are actually doing overnumber signature cards, which will feature the artist signature on for that art. And those are set to only appear maybe 1 in every 30 boxes. So it sounds like Riot definitely want to hit it out of the park with the collector side of things. 1 in every 30 boxes sounds like One Piece's manga rares, I think. I don't collect One Piece, but it sounds pretty similar. Now, just as a heads up, throughout the months of June and July, specifically June 9th to July 18th, if you are interested in learning more about the game or don't mind getting spoiled on things, Riot is doing a preview season. So a lot of information from press, from content creators, from Riot. They will be releasing batches of information in about 2 to 3 cards per release of information. And apparently there's going to be 377 card images that they're going to be going over. So that's actually pretty insane. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for all of that. All right, so what do I think about the game so far? Now, my wife Lace and I will probably do a separate video and discuss our thoughts about specifically the gameplay because we have been able to play the game. We just used proxy decks that I printed out and created, and I will say we had a fun time with it. I am quite excited about this game overall. I think that Riftbound has a lot of potential. If you were paying attention early on when they released the images of the cards, or at least the test images for the cards, people weren't exactly happy or thrilled about the way the cards came out. And maybe it's through their experience or through their resources, Riot was able to make changes really quick. So that's impressive. I think that's actually a good thing, the fact that Riot is willing to listen and they are willing to make changes really quickly. I think that's a great thing. From some of the articles that I've read, from some of the journalists that have, went to Riot HQ and talked to all the developers, apparently they are also impressed about how much the developers are committed to this game. So I think that's another great thing. So I played once with my wife just to kind of teach her the game. and then I played a multiplayer game. It was supposed to be the 4 of us, but Lace had to leave to go pick up baby boy. So it ended up being me and 2 other friends. We played, and I mean, I'm loving the game. I think they had a lot of fun too, from what they said. We didn't actually get to complete the game because unfortunately they had to leave. But from what I've played, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It feels like there's quite a bit of decision making, turn to turn, which is great. You know, nothing ever feels too obvious, and I think the resource system with the recycling, I think that's smart. Having our stronger cards played behind sacrificing of resources or basically putting them back. I don't know if another game has done that, but it's definitely clever, and it makes for very fun gameplay. Especially, I really like the battlefield aspect of it. So it doesn't feel like you're just facing your opponent and trying to take their life, or it doesn't feel like you're just trying to race to the finish. The game feels kind of more storied, that you're building up this army in a way that befits your legend, right? Like, because every legend plays differently. Out of the 4 trial decks that I printed out, I mean, I only played with Jinx. Lace used Yasuo, and she had a lot of fun with that. But every deck feels different in the way it plays, and I think that's fun. That every deck has its own identity, which ties into the legend or champion that is heading that deck. I think that's great. Overall, again, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm excited for it. It was a lot of fun. And Lace, again, only played once, but after she played, she had a smile on her face and she was like, this is fun. And it takes a lot for a game to do that, I'm not gonna lie. For Lace, she likes it, or she'll let you know she's bored, right? Like, if she's bored right off the bat, that's normally not a great sign for the game. We played Riftbound once together and she loved it, she had fun. I think that's a good sign. I think that means that Riot hit it out of the park with a game that can tailor itself to a casual audience, but also to one that is competitive as well. And the fact that they first tailored it to that multiplayer aspect, the more casual audience, I don't know, I'm not a professional, I think that's great design. Or at least I think that was a great idea on their part. Really excited to see what they have in store. Now, if I were to have one nitpick, feel free to get mad at me in the comments below. If I were to hope for one thing, it's that whatever they do with the female characters and the amount of sex appeal they include, hopefully they make it as classy as possible. The reason why I say that is this is something that Lace and I had talked about, and we'll discuss it more in another video, but when we think about how we would introduce this game to our kids, if we were to ever do it, the question is at what age, because the sexualization thing is not something that we would want to introduce them to too early. Now, it's not something that we would be able to, it's not a call we can make right now. You know, every kid is different, and it all really does depend on the maturity of the kid, and you just can never tell. Sometimes at a young age they can be very mature, and then sometimes they may remain immature for a very long time. So if I were to just ask for one thing, it would be, if they could, I highly doubt Riot watches this video, but I would say if you could, at least make it classy. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of just my one little nitpick there. Overall, I love the art. I mean, Riot, they're always good at their art. It's what I loved about League of Legends. When you looked at your champion art, and trust me, I spent a lot on skins. That's for a different video. Their art's always fantastic, in my opinion. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you found it informative. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about Riftbound, if you're excited for it, if maybe if you have any gripes, or if you have any hesitations about the game, let us know in the comment down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like it if you like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and you know, hopefully I see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day, guys. Bye-bye.